That's how it's gonna start.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna stay in for a second.
Good evening. I'm Trevor Cook, director of the Ivy Ringers from First Presbyterian Church in Charlotte. We are here in Newberry, New Hampshire. We are on the top of our rental house, the observatory, where we've been enjoying looking at the stars the past couple nights, as well as many other sites here in New Hampshire. Thank you for joining us for our virtual concert. Let's see what the Ringers are doing. Here they are. We've got the girls here. What you doing, girls?
Robbie!
What you guys playing cards? Ooh! 150. All right. Evan's over here counting peanuts. He's looking at the wall. Got these guys playing Smash Brothers. Who's winning, fellas?
Obviously, C-Bum.
Oh, C-Bum's winning? All right, cool. Maybe. All right. So you're looking around. You can see we are in a renovated barn. The barn is actually, it's a dairy barn from originally built in 1910, where we just were in the observatory, was the original grain silo. This is obviously being refinished. We've enjoyed staying here. Let's catch up with those Ringers, see where they went. Looks like we found them.
No.
That was a piece called Allegro Con Moto by Jason Krug. We are outside performing in the wonderful countryside that is New Hampshire. With that, of course, comes the elements, including wind. So you might see us fighting a few page turns, but we're going to keep up with it. This next piece is going to be Morning from the Peer Gynt Suite. This is a piece I play often. This is a fantastic arrangement, and the kids do a wonderful job doing it. We've basically spent this week rehearsing. Typically on our tour years we play a lot of gigs, but with COVID we've been unable to do that. So we've spent this week really enjoying each other's fellowship, rehearsing, having a lot of fun. This is our second stop. Our first stop was in Northampton, New Hampshire, which was close to the coast, so we were able to spend some time on the beach. And now we're up in the mountains where we've been able to do some hiking and visit a lake today. We venture home starting tomorrow, so we wanted to show you the hard work that we've been putting in. It's a great group of kids. We've got myself, my mom's up there enjoying. Say hey, Mom. And Tristan Wall is working the camera. If you want to give yourself a shout out, there he is, working the camera. So this will be Morning from the Peer Gynt Suite. So this year's group has 5 seniors. I'm going to take a little bit of time in between some of these songs to talk about each one of them while they get set up for the next one. The first one I'm going to talk about here is down on the bass side here. We got Mr. Aiden Seabaum Johnson. Aiden, this is your this would be what? This is your 3rd tour?
Yeah.
3rd tour would have been your 4th, right?
Yeah, it would have been.
We lost our tour last year. Aiden's been, I'll never forget the first night I started at First Pres doing the handbells. Let's see, almost 8 years ago. Aiden was in 5th grade then, and came in, and Aiden was about as tall as this table here. And just as happy, nice camera work, just as happy as can be. Happy to be in there. He had come in from the children's choir to ring with the middle school kids and was happy as he could to be there. I remember him wanting to do this wind chime. I had no idea what he was talking about. He said, "Can I go do the wind chime?" And I said, "I guess." And he ran up there and did it. It was just as happy as can be. And he's been that happy all these years that I've had him in my group. And I'm so I'm sad to see him go, but look forward to see what he's doing. He's going to be planning on taking a gap year and working on a career in computer science here, computer programming. So I can't wait to see him around the church singing in the choir. And good to miss you, bud.
I miss you too, Trevor. I'm going to miss you.
This next piece will be entitled Fantasy on Finlandia. This is one that I wrote when we were on tour in 2016. We drove through Nashville, Tennessee, and we stopped at a place, a church called Westminster Presbyterian, get that word out, church in Nashville. There was a guy named Keith Cole there, and he had helped me with some tours before, and so we were able to play at his church that Sunday, and they sang the hymn "Be Still My Soul," which is, of course, based on the famous Sibelius hymn, the Sibelius piece, Finlandia. It takes the middle section of that and it uses it as a hymn. So I took the whole piece of Finlandia, worked different parts of it into this arrangement. So it's more than just the hymn. It's got pieces of the original Sibelius Finlandia piece. So, Fantasy on Finlandia. So our next senior I want to highlight is a little further up the line, Mr. Sam Bitter right here.
Hello.
I first met Sam when his sister Caroline was in my group when I first started, and I was asking if anybody had any siblings that were somewhat musical, and Caroline lit up and said, "My brother plays music," and I thought, pick him up, bring him part of the group. So Sam came and joined and was a wonderful member of our middle school ensemble and has been a wonderful member of our high school ensemble for many years. This is his second tour. He went to Ireland with us and of course on a tour last year and has been a valuable leader over all these years. And Sam just got his Eagle Scout and he'll be flying out, leaving us a little early tomorrow. He's going to be headed to Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico for a big super trip out there. So we'll miss him these last 2 days. In the fall, Sam will be going to the University of South Carolina to study finance. So thank you for your year, Sam. We'll miss you. Shoo! So, one of the great part about these tours is I get to pick up on youth culture. As I get older, the gap gets further and further apart, and so I learned that now everyone apparently says "shoo." So we've been doing that all week. I'm sorry. It's "shee." It's not an ooh. It's an e vowel. Okay. All right. This next tune is entitled "I Vow to Thee My Country," arranged by Jason Krug. He also arranged the first piece we did. This is, I believe, was played in church. A similar version of this melody was played last Sunday for the last Sunday in the sanctuary. The tune you'll recognize from Jupiter, but it's also a famous British hymn. So this will be "I Vow to Thee My Country." we're gonna move to the opposite side of this table here. I'm gonna slide over here to Mrs. Mary Natterdahl. Mary has been in the group for this spring semester only. She was one of my students at Myers Park for 4 years. I've known her for a very long time. And I knew when I needed somebody, she could fit right in perfectly and basically learn how to play handbells in an all-star ensemble in 3 months. And that's what she's done. And not only that, she's brought a wonderful personality and a wonderful happiness to this group. And we're so lucky to have had you with us.
Thank you.
Mary will be going to the University of Chapel Hill next fall, and she will be studying biology. So we're so happy to have her, and thank you, Mary.
Thank you.
This next piece, I think, is our music director at First Pres, Will Young. I think this is his favorite handbell piece ever, because whenever I ask what we should play in church, he says, well, why don't you just play that God of Grace and God of Glory? And I say, okay, I guess we can do that one again. But he's right. It is a wonderful, wonderful piece of music. Features mallets in the bass. It's almost like a string bass playing some of this music. So this will be God of Grace and God of Glory. Moving on down the line of our seniors, we've got Miss Caroline Cox over here, right here. Caroline will be attending Davidson College, studying mathematics, as Grace jumps in front of her. Caroline, how many tours have you been on?
4.
This is a 4th tour. I can't believe it. I remember your first tour was in Vancouver and Portland in that one, right?
Yes, it was.
And you were going into high school that year. And we all, we get to know each other in rehearsal. But on these tours is where I really get to know these kids. And I didn't know a whole lot about Caroline going into that tour. She was very quiet. But on that tour, she came out of her shell, And Caroline is probably one of the funniest people I've ever met. She is funniest and probably one of the smartest people I've ever met. And so we've been so lucky to have her in the group these past several years. And so thank you for your time, Caroline. Thank you. Look forward to seeing what you do in the future, for sure. This next piece will be God of the Sparrow, the famous hymn. This is an arrangement I did 2 years ago. We played it in church in fall of 19, and we were going to take it on tour last year, but of course that tour got canceled. So I wanted to bring it back and give it another shot. So this will be God of the Sparrow. So we have one more senior that I'd like to highlight, Miss Riley Williamson, over there in the corner. Riley in this position has anywhere from 3 to 15 bells, and whenever I need an extra person, an extra bell that I can't figure out where to put, I just kind of give it to Riley, and she always makes it work. She has been in this group since she was in 7th grade. So let's see, 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th. 6?
Mm-hmm.
6 tours. We'll count last year as well. That's more than anybody I've ever taken. And I think that's more than anybody else in First Prez's history has been on. And that's because when she was in 7th grade, she was capable of ringing this type of material. And like so many of these other ringers, she brings such a great personality and such a fun-loving spirit to the group, and lifts the group up with her presence and her music and just everything about her. She's going to be going to the University of Tampa next fall studying marine biology, and it's a little too far away for my tastes, but she's got to go down there and do her thing. So, Riley, thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes, it has.
This next piece is a First Prez tradition. We played at Christmas and on tour. We have 2 pieces left. This is the next to last. It'll be Now the Green Blade Riseth by Kevin McChesney. So as our concert comes to a close, we have one more piece for you. I just want to say, in this year like no other, in this tour like no other, everyone has found a way to make it work. We specifically, this group has lost several months of rehearsal. We didn't have a regular fall season. Our spring season last year was cut short. Like I said, typically when we go on tour, we're playing all kinds of concerts, multiple concerts, traveling all over the place. When I arranged for this tour, I decided we were just going to go somewhere far away and be together. And it's honestly probably been one of the greatest experiences of my life, just being able to spend a week with these young people, all of whom are just wonderful, such great kids, great musicians, but better people. That's a reflection of their parents and the church community around them. And so it's been a wonderful time that we've had this week and a wonderful year, all things considered. So I just want to say thank you to those of you who have helped support this group. Our last piece will be an arrangement of Great Is Thy Faithfulness, the famous hymn. This was dedicated to Bill Hanna, who self-titled himself the Godfather of Jazz in Charlotte. I played a lot of gigs with Bill through the years. He's one of the guys who taught me how to play jazz drum set. And sadly, we lost Bill this past spring. He had a nice full life and influenced a lot of people in Charlotte, the Charlotte jazz community. So Bill, this one's for you.
my shoes tied? Yes, they are tied.
Thank you again for watching. We'll be back on Friday and look forward to seeing you again soon.